The Crooked Epic, 1, The Inn of Maniacal Madness, 7, Alex, The Train, 7C, 2. Alex's morning was nary mundane, and despite the emergence of the anomalous and vehement animation of liquidous animosity, inconsequential scrambling of guards throughout the hotel, he was high in spirits and ready to find out if there was yet a way to overtake a vehicle and use it to escape through the caverns of Hob. Looking out his window, although much of the forefront of the bordered wall was covered with soldiers, he thought it might be the best possible idea to check the near train station. Alex hopped through his hotel room door while invisible and walked down to the hotel's lobby. However, idle curiosity tickled his conscience once on the lobby floor. He leaned over the railing to the restaurant, seeing if people were having breakfast or if the casino below still had its gambling tables open. There were many customers in the restaurant, and he could see a corner of one of the tables where they were playing cards laid out in piles. However, he heard shouting on the casino stairs, loud banging, and the sound of something being dragged up by several strong men. Unintentionally interested, he walked down to the restaurant with the motive to use the portal and keep himself invisible. When he reached the restaurant, he could see the men had carried a large crate up from the lower level of the basement. They were pushing it through the portal, although the sides were almost too wide to fit into the doorway's frame. Eventually they heaved it and followed it into the maze, where Alex, too, arrived behind. Coincidentally, they were now shifting the box around to fit it into the next doorway, which led to the train station. Alex looked at the men in the crate, wondering what they had inside. As the men dragged it into the next portal, Alex peeked into the wooden sides of the crate. Inside the box, Alex saw the father, Christopher Good. He was tied in a straitjacket and locked with a muzzle as Alex had been by Draken. He could already tell something was awry with the presence of his father. He looked unnatural and was bound by a pouch on the back of his neck and muzzle across his face. He was wearing the foreign garb of the armies of Hob, and Alex was immediately distrustful. The box went into the portal and the men followed, and so did Alex to the train station of Hob. There, the men began to miff in another language about the weight of the box, and some split off and went to speak to the dispatchers and porters. Alex was stunned, watching the box, waiting for any idea to occur. Before anything else happened, a truck convoy started positioning itself with crate-filled flatbeds facing the boxcars. They unloaded closed crates containing animals, dry goods, and stock for refrigerated boxcars in a morass of transportation. There were also open boxes containing items like radios, stereos, and phonographs. There was imminent electricity and other people wherever the train was taking these loads. Alex watched as hundreds of men walked around the trucks and loaded crates onto the boxcars. Soon, the men escorting his father's box started to move it and drag it into the loading zone. It was ready to be lifted onto the train within 5 minutes, and Alex had no choice but to jump inside. The train was headed south, which meant Alex was going to Gob, invisible until the wand's magic wore off during the long ride. Alex tried to focus his pithy triumph on their father, who only slept in his muzzled mask inside the dark boxcar.